Hi everyone! The US stock market is opening a new trading week on the optimistic note. Will market participants retain optimism for long? Let's discuss it in this video. Let me remind you that Wall Street was trading higher for the whole last week. Neither the downbeat US non-farm payrolls nor mounting inflation expectations destroyed the morale among speculators. On Friday, the major stock indexes rallied in confidence and closed at about the highest levels of the year. Our analysts have reviewed popular assets of the US stock market and are ready to share the analysis and forecast with you. The barometer of the market health, the S&P 500, gained nearly 1% on Friday. On Monday morning, futures on the S&P 500 are extended growth, trading currently at about 4,720 points. The fact that the index managed to close above 4,700 indicates that Wall Street is going to conquer new historic peaks. Futures on the S&P are set to stick to the upper border of the corridor between 4,760 and 4,780. Nevertheless, market optimism could be dampened by the US Fed's policy decisions. Meanwhile, consumer inflation in the US surged to an unprecedented annual rate with the prospects of further acceleration. The US CPI spiked by 6.8% in November from 6.2% in October in annual terms. It means that the Federal Reserve could make an unpleasant surprise to investors with its policy decisions this week. The US dollar index is following last week's pattern, trading in a narrow range in anticipation of the Fed's policy update. The greenback remained oscillating in a narrow range even in light of the alarming inflation data from the United States. Now the US dollar's index is trading at the level of the last week at near 96.30. The forecast made on Friday is still valid. We suppose that index to hold the corridor of 96.00 and 96.30. The USD CAD pair found the balance between the firm US dollar and rising oil prices. As the result, the currency pair is trading in a wide range between 1.2620 and 1.2850. In the meantime, it's trading at near 1.2760, while the greenback has got stuck sideways. Oil prices are regaining momentum. Crude oil has appreciated by 1.5%, so that the loonie is capable of a certain strength against its American rival. The crypto market is weighing down by uncertainty. Bitcoin is trapped in a range between $47,000 and $51,000. Today, the price is drifting lower at near $48,000. The buyers still lack energy, so the sellers are setting the tone in the market. Hence, the flagship cryptocurrency is following the overall bearish trend. The chart looks similar to the situation that occurred after the crash in May. Looking back, the market was trading flat for a long and eventually crypto investors got in limbo. Bitcoin eventually escaped the range-bound market and went upwards. Now analysts recommended revising portfolios, investing almost 70% in stable coins and about 30% in altcoins. This strategy will enable you to gain profits with virtually any scenario. Do you agree with this strategy? Please share your viewpoint. Interestingly, the US stock market is experiencing an investment boom in the second half of 2021. For example, share repurchases by large US companies swelled to a record $934 billion in the third quarter. On top of that, investments in Americans in hedge funds surpassed $1 trillion for the first time ever. US President Joe Biden noted that the welfare of common Americans improved despite soaring inflation because personal income outruns consumer inflation. Analysts believe that the equity market is full of optimism, aiming to update one-year highs before Christmas. There is a fly in the ointment. Investors' mood could be spoiled by the outcome of the Fed's meeting, as the regulator could resort to aggressive monetary tightening and unwind its bond buying earlier than initially planned. Keep close tabs on latest market developments on InstaForex TV channel. See you tomorrow.